Good day. I'm Trisha O'Connor, and for Community Spotlight, Sinking Houses, let's talk about it. First, please subscribe, like, and share. Just press that subscribe button. So much more content coming out, and you do not want to miss it. Sinking Houses. So, I want you to take a look at this picture. Just to zoom in the screen if you have to a little bit, pull back a little bit if you have to, and then look at these houses. And it looks as if the houses are leaning. So the one with the X, you see um it's boarded up, and the property owners no longer live there. The city actually came and put a vacate order, says no one can live in there. They've had issues of squatters and rodents. It is attached to the other house. Now, I will say that I do have video that I took myself of the inside of the other house. So, just stay tuned. I think I'm going to be putting that out just to show you a little bit more of the issue for these property owners. Now, the other two I have not been in, but they are leaning the other way. And you know, from a real estate aspect, the property values go down. Um, the thought of whether you're going to be able to leave this property to your future generations, if it will be, still standing, the fear of that is there. These homes were built in the 40s, and it was said that there was farmland all uh, throughout these streets. In fact, about a half a mile, there is a farm museum that is still there. They didn't sell, they kept their land, and they do different things in the community for schools on their farm. Now, these houses were built in the 40s. There are houses, I don't know if it's these or which one it was, but some of these houses were said to have been built by Donald Trump's father. Don't know how true that is or which one, but in within that area. Now, when you pass these houses, you can see that they're leaning, and it's not it's a chunk. It's a good plot of land, because if you go a little further down or a little further up, they're not leaning. But there is a good amount within this section of ones that are leaning, and you see um, that the trouble these homeowners must be going through. This is a community of people who came from the Caribbean, um, bought their homes in the 70s, in the 80s, right? And now they are dealing with leaning homes. You could look at the street. The street is like bumpy, and it has cracks. And the thing about that is the street is newly paved, because the paint is there. When a street is not newly paved, the paint is worn off. The paint is pretty good. It has a little pieces missing, but for the most part, it's pretty good. But the cracks are there already. So before the paint even faded away, cracks were put on the new paved street. And that is something to look at. And looking at these homes, you just wonder what is going on. So my son just turned 6, and one of the gifts for his birthday, I got him a student membership with the American Society of Civil Engineers. So he can always have the resources and tools and support um, to get to his goals of being an engineer, real estate developer. And I have been doing my own, research on the different types of engineers. So I know how to support him in tools and toys and educational um, aspects in order for his career. And I realized that there are a few different type of engineers that is needed for this situation, because you need someone to look at the infrastructure. You need someone to look at the structure of these homes. You need someone to look back at the history, the maps of what was here before, what is around. You know, I was told by a reliable source, but I will still say it's alleged, that there was a $5 million ticket on having an engineer look at this property, look at the land, look at the street. I'm sure that that price is a whole lot more. And I believe you need different types of engineers who specialize in different areas, not just one, because this is a major issue. And for those, if this was true, who saw that $5 million price tag, and it was alleged that it was placed somewhere else and to doing something else, that money was used for something else. If you think that these houses sinking, these streets cracking, is not going to affect the neighboring communities, I don't know what to tell you. If the neighboring communities do not experience flooding, ooh, that sewer system is going to hit them. It was also alleged that there's a canal under there. And if that is true, and I'm not an engineer, that may explain why the houses look like they're already floating on water. Google Canal. There's the Gowanus Canal in Brooklyn. I've been to houses that had canals in the backyards. It's like a big old tube of water. To me, it's scary, but some people love it because they could put their boats in there. But if these houses were built in the 40s and there was water around, perhaps we need to go back and analyze and see what needs to be corrected, repaired, advanced to 2022. This is an emergency. I want you to look at this next picture. The clouds, the heavy rain that is about to pour down on these houses, where the houses are leaning and there are fresh cracks in a newly repaved street. We have a new administration, and we need the federal government to come in and look at these properties. They need to get some engineers to come and evaluate where this issue is and how big it is and what will it take to fix it. And if these families need to be compensated, then that should be included as well. Because I can tell you that that house has mold, the mental stress, the house with the ex has mortgage issues. And this is years and years. The street is bubbling. For the city to say that no one should be inside that property and that property to be attached and those two to look like they're leaning that way, that means it is known that something is wrong. For these cracks to already be coming on a street that is clearly newly repaved, on the same street that a city has boarded up, that is falling over and leaning on an attached property that has so many issues. And I feel for the family, and the family needs help, and they've been trying to get help. And these homes are ignored because people feel they're the ones that are hurt. Or maybe because it's people who came from the Caribbean in the 70s. And they're not making enough noise. But these homes are have major issues, and it's not just the homes, it's the street. You know, I've traveled to other countries to speak on real estate, to help build houses. And you see issues, foundation issues in other countries because the land is too wet, or it's something, but not here in America. We need some engineers to come out, do their research, assess the property. We need this done right away. We have a new administration, and sometimes we have to sound the alarm, especially when it's an emergency, that these houses need to be looked at. The streets need to be looked at. And we need to help these homeowners. Please, everyone, subscribe, like, and share. Until next time, peace.